Good morning, everyone. I promise you're not going to get two sermons, okay? Pastor's all ready to preach. You know, I do a lot of preaching, but this is not why I'm here today, okay? Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being generous, for caring about the lost, and for supporting missions. You know, that allows me to do what I do and not have a lot of burden on my shoulders, you know, because we've got people praying for us, giving, supporting us, so thank you so much. I've been in the ministry 41 years. You might look at me and say, really? Yeah, 41 years. And, you know, I'm 64, so it started when I was a young man. And I just wanted to share this when I'm like to see a lot of young people here. And my mom and dad brought me to church. I knew a lot of things about the Bible, could have probably passed a Bible test. But I went off into high school, playing sports, doing what a lot of kids do. And slowly in the inside, I was drifting away from the Lord. More interested in playing sports, more interested in hanging out with my friends, more interested in finding a girlfriend, and more interested in trying some things that you shouldn't really try in life, like, you know, a little bit of weed, a little bit of drinking. And went off into college without that accountability because you get a lot of liberty in college, and just totally immersed myself in the college life. The frat parties, you know, staying out as long as I wanted. But what was kind of cool when I went to college, right down the road, Millersville University, in the late 70s into the early 80s, God was at work on that campus. Gideons would give us New Testaments every semester. Students would give me gospel tracts, invite me to Bible study. And when my life of walking away from God started kind of had me heading downhill, and when I was engaged to a girl who I was going to marry and she saw my life and broke it off, it put me into what's going on with me. And when I saw my life was messed up, I thank God people told me about Jesus because I gave my life to Christ as a college senior. I went off into my career, finance, accounting. My goal was to be a millionaire as a young man. But when I got planted in a church, growing in my faith, one Sunday the pastor was preaching a message, and he said, "Are you doing with your life what you want, or have you ever asked God what he would like to do?" When I was a young Christian, I'm like, man, I want to follow God. God, what do you want me to do? It put me on this change of thought, change of plan, and before I know it, God was calling me into the ministry. Should I be a pastor? Should I be a youth pastor? When missionaries would come and speak, I'm like, I'd like to go. Sounds fun. But one thing at my job as an accountant, as I read the Bible, it said, be salt, be light, be a witness. So as best I could, I'd try to share with the people I worked with. But it kind of led me at one point to leave my job and to say, I'm going out to Moody Bible Institute for an urban evangelism training, and I'm going to learn how to share my faith with other people. Man, they took us out into the streets of the city. First time I preached on the streets, my knees were knocking. I thought I was going to die. They taught us how to do illustrations, and mine didn't work. And I was hoping the sewer would open up and I could slide down and disappear. But the one thing I noticed was God was using me. You could have conversations with people. And then they told us something crazy. They said, when you go home, don't forget about what you learned. Put it into practice. Go home and do it. Home? Where all the people know me? Where I went to high school? Where I did all this other stuff? Yeah. Man, I fought that. Growing up down the road in Shillington and around the Reading area, I started going out in the streets of Reading, sharing my faith, sharing the gospel. Wanting to learn more from the guys who trained me, I eventually moved to Philly, plugged in with them. I spent over 30-some years in Philadelphia, kids ministry, campus ministry, trying to think of all the other things we had. Kids' churches. We had outdoor children's churches. We worked on the docks with the merchant ships that came in. We just were doing things, helping plant churches, not I was planting them, but helping pastors as they planted churches. But after all those years, my wife and I said, you know, we're getting older. Where should we be? We thought about moving to North Carolina where we had some family. So I decided we were going to cut loose from Philly, move to North Carolina, and find out what God had for us there. So we moved to North Carolina, a little bit north of Wake Forest. I was going to learn from some other guys and kind of join them. And I found out they were doing more events. They weren't out in the streets consistent like I had used to be in Philly. So I just started reaching out. NC State, UNC, events at the convention center, going to the NC State football games, going to the state fair, just kind of being out there. And as I'm out there, I'm meeting people. Hey, can I help you? Hey, do you need help? And before we know it, we have a big squad of men. Nothing against the ladies. Ladies can come. But I move more to bringing the men out and getting them involved. And the ladies can come, but because of certain dynamics, as most of us are men. So right now, we're at college campuses. We work at a bus station in North Carolina, in Raleigh. I help with some abortion ministry 2 days a week to give the ladies some male support, because that can be a tough ministry to be there, giving the women one last hope that there's help, that there's resources, that they don't have to do this, give them that one last opportunity to change their mind. And we kind of give them some support and backup. I do travel. This year I've been to the College Football Championship in Atlanta, Super Bowl in New Orleans, Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Could not make spring break because of an overlap this year in Miami, where we trained young people from Liberty, take them down, but some other guys took care of it. So we're out sharing Christ on a regular basis. We're out going to events, sharing Christ. We're multiplying ourselves, teaching others how to do it. Right now, we've got a 16-year-old young boy who comes out once in a while with us when he's not in school. So these are the things God has us still doing. So like I told people earlier, I'm just a real kind of person. I've been dealing with a lot of stress lately with the dynamics of our team, the dynamics of the busyness, the dynamics of the demands, and I'm in one of those stages where I have to adapt my life a little bit, rethink things, pray, change, maybe a little more rest time, but just pray for that, okay? Pray that we have the wisdom to stay at it, pray that we keep at it, pray our outreach team grows. And hey, as I finish, if God can use me, he can use any of you, okay? And I shared in Sunday school, a little girl who got taken as a slave said to her mistress, not a mistress, the lady who she was helping, our prophet can heal your husband. And that's in the Bible, the story of Naaman. And that's all she said. And it put that man onto a journey for healing. And he devoted his life to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's what we can do. We can just speak life into our friends. So God bless you all. Thanks for letting me speak for a little bit. Thanks for praying for us. And thank you for being involved in extending the kingdom, because that's what we're doing, okay? I love our country, but God's doing some other things, okay? So God bless you all.